Let's dive right into this explainer and decode the silent language your feline friend actually expects you to understand. Most of us think we've got a pretty good handle on what our cats want, right? Food, water, a clean litter box, maybe a little attention. But it turns out, their expectations go far, far deeper than just the basics.
See, there's this fascinating reality that we almost always miss. Cats are testing us literally every single day. They operate on this incredibly strict set of unspoken rules, and, well, we frequently fail these tests without even realizing it. We tend to make assumptions based on human behavior, but applying human logic to a cat? That is absolutely a guaranteed way to break their rules. And that brings us to a kind of sobering thought. When you break these rules, it's not like your cat is going to sit you down and complain about it. They're not going to tell you you're wrong. Instead, they'll just quietly, gradually start to lose trust in you. But hey, stick with me here, because by the time we wrap up this explainer, we're going to reveal something huge. We'll show you how your cat's sleeping location at night is the final, undeniable verdict on exactly how much trust they actually have in you.
So let's jump into section 1, the threat of affection, when human love translates to danger.
Let's start with how our physical displays of affection can, well, completely backfire. There's this profound biological communication gap between our two species. I mean, have you ever gazed lovingly into your cat's eyes only for them to just abruptly look away or bolt from the room? You totally thought you were having a bonding moment, right? But to a cat, prolonged eye contact is a heart-wired prelude to an attack. Out in the wild, a long stare between two cats happens right before they get into a physical fight. So when you lock eyes with them, your cat is basically sitting there wondering why you're suddenly being so aggressive.
And we actually have the data to back this up. A really fascinating study published in the journal Animal Cognition proved that cats actively avoid people who stare directly at them. Instead, they naturally move closer to people who look softly, give a slow blink, and then look away. So that slow blink, that is the correct, biologically appropriate way to say I love you in their world.
Which leads us perfectly into another incredibly common frustration. You know the drill. You're enjoying a nice, relaxing petting session, the cat is purring away, and then suddenly, bam, they bite your hand out of absolutely nowhere. It feels totally unprovoked, and you're just left sitting there wondering what on earth you did wrong.
Well, the absolutely crucial point here is that your cat isn't just being mean or, moody. You've simply crossed a neurological boundary. It's known as petting-induced aggression. Think of it kind of like this. Imagine someone rubbing the exact same spot on your arm over and over again. At first, yeah, it might feel okay, but eventually it gets super annoying and then it literally starts to hurt. Your cat's nervous receptors work the exact same way. 1 second it's great, then a switch flips, and pleasure instantly turns into total overstimulation.
But here's the thing. There are subtle signs we almost always ignore just because we're too distracted by how cute they are. Your cat is actually trying really hard to warn you before they bite. You've got to watch for the tail twitching, the ears flattening just a little bit, or even the skin rippling right along their back. The golden rule here is to pet in short sessions, keep an eagle eye out for these specific signs, and stop immediately the second you see them. You really have to let the cat dictate the terms of the affection.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, Sacred Territories. Scent, survival, and spatial disruption.
Think about that beaten-up old cardboard box, or maybe that specific blanket you just moved so you could tidy up the living room. Your human intent was completely innocent. You were just cleaning. But to a cat, you literally just destroyed their safe space. See, cats don't view your home aesthetically like we do. They map their entire world through facial and paw scent. It's like an invisible blueprint. When they claim a spot, they mark it with pheromones to say, hey, this is mine and I am safe here. So when you move or wash that item, you effectively erase their map, leaving them feeling entirely displaced.
And just to anchor this in the science for a second, the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery notes that environmental disruption is actually one of the top triggers of stress in indoor cats. So moving a cat's bed across the room isn't just a minor annoyance to them, it's a huge deal.
It can trigger severe anxiety, a sudden loss of appetite, or even cause them to avoid the litter box entirely. If you absolutely have to move their things, you've got to do it gradually so they have time to adjust.
Now, what about mealtime? Here's a highly relatable question for you. Why shouldn't you talk to your cat while they eat? I mean, we all do it, right? We put the ball down and just stand there saying sweet things to them. It feels like such a loving thing to do.
But here's the issue. Out in the wild, eating with your head down is an incredibly dangerous, vulnerable moment. Their guard is completely lowered. So when you hover or talk or touch them mid-meal, their primal survival brain instantly kicks in. They literally can't relax because they feel like they have to track your movements. And that internal stress, it causes them to eat way too fast, which leads to, you guessed it, vomiting or food guarding. What you really need to do is give them physical space. Step back, stay quiet, and hey, if you have multiple cats, make sure to separate their feeding areas so they aren't pressuring each other.
All right, Section 3, the crucial greeting ritual, the emotional cost of ignoring your cat.
Picture this. You come home from work. You are utterly exhausted, and you walk right past your cat waiting in the hallway. You're probably thinking, man, I'm tired. I'll just put my bags down and pet them in 10 minutes. But to your cat, you are straight up ignoring a very serious social ritual. When a cat waits for you with their tail straight up in the air or gives you that little soft chirp, that isn't just casual neediness. They are actively and deliberately acknowledging your presence in their territory. Now, missing this greeting isn't going to make them throw a tantrum, but they do quietly file it away. And over time, that really damages your bond. Eventually, they'll just simply stop greeting you at the door.
Fortunately, there's an incredibly easy fix for this, and it takes exactly 3 seconds. When you walk in the door, before you even check your phone or drop your keys, just look at them. Acknowledge them immediately. Give them that slow blink we talked about earlier and just say something soft. That one simple acknowledgement validates their social ritual and goes a long way in keeping your bond strong.
And finally, Section 4, the ultimate trust test, the final verdict on forgiveness.
So this brings us right back to the mystery we teased at the very beginning. What your cat's sleeping spot actually reveals about your relationship. Have they forgiven you for breaking those rules you didn't even know you were breaking? Well, if your cat is sleeping right on your chest or curled up right next to your face, wow, this is the highest honor. This is complete and total surrender. They are placing themselves in their absolute deepest state of unconscious vulnerability right next to the person they trust more than anyone else in the world. It means they feel entirely safe with you.
Now, what if they're sleeping way down at the foot of the bed? First off, I want to reassure you, this is absolutely not rejection. What this represents is cautious trust. They love you, and they definitely want to be close to you, but their instincts are dictating that they need to maintain a quick and easy exit. They're essentially just carefully monitoring your, let's face it, unpredictable human patterns, making sure it's 100% safe before they fully let their guard down. Finally, if your cat is choosing to sleep in an entirely different room altogether, it basically means they're unsure. It definitely doesn't mean they don't love you, but it is a pretty strong indicator that daily routine disruptions, or maybe those broken, unspoken rules we've been uncovering today, are making them feel a little insecure. If you've been, hovering over their food, staring them down, or moving their scent-marked boxes around the house, well, this physical distance at night is usually the result.
So I'm going to leave you with this thought. Where will your cat sleep tonight? The truly beautiful thing about feline behavior is that nothing is permanent. Every single day is a brand new opportunity. An opportunity to observe their boundaries, follow their unspoken rules, rebuild that trust, and hey, maybe eventually earn that highly coveted spot right there on your chest.